Me and my girlfriend are all of a sudden struggling with distance when I leave for a 3-month internship. I am feeling like she doesn't care anymore. Do I have a right to feel this way? How should I handle this? I'm facing a challenging situation in my 3.5-year relationship, who we'll call Sarah for the sake of the story. I'm here seeking advice and perspectives on how to handle this situation because it's been causing some distress. To give you a bit of context, Sarah and I have been together since 2020. Lately, I've noticed a shift in her behavior towards me. She used to give me these heartwarming smiles and compliments, but they've become much rarer, only happening once or twice a month. Even though she says she misses me, she's reluctant to engage in phone calls or video chats, leaving me feeling distant. I love Sarah and truly want to make this work, but it feels like she might have lost some of her enthusiasm for our relationship. She attributes it to our current long-distance situation, yet I've been handling the distance just fine for the past 2 years due to her being at college. Strangely, now that I'm away for a 3-month internship, things have become rocky between us. What's been even more puzzling is her behavior in photos. While she radiates smiles in pictures with others, at work, and with friends, it's a different story with me. Her smiles seem forced, if they happen at all. It's disheartening, especially since I've made an effort to compliment and support her. She used to send me fit checks, as she loves clothes, but those have also dwindled. Putting these feelings into words has made me realize the extent of the changes. I've begun to feel undervalued and unappreciated. When I attempt to discuss our concerns and issues, she often ends up in tears, leaving me feeling guilty. I want us to have open conversations without this emotional burden. She occasionally says, "I'm sorry for being a bad girlfriend," but I've reassured her that's not the case. What I wish for is both of us making an effort to work on our problems. I understand that she might be tired or upset, but I'm the one away from home, always keeping her informed about my whereabouts. I want her to trust me, and I want to improve our communication. How should I handle this? I am having thoughts about leaving her as I haven't seen any improvements out of the few times I have talked to her. But if anyone has been through a similar situation or has advice on addressing these issues, I'd greatly appreciate your insights. Comment. My first initial reaction to anyone who believes their girlfriend is not happy may be that she's hiding something from you. Most of the times posts like these sound like cheating, but I don't want to jump the gun here. If she's always escaping the conversations, sounds like she's hiding something she doesn't want you to know. Is spot on with his assessment. She is hiding something from you, and is afraid talking to you, particularly face to face, will give herself away. She may never tell you what's going on. If you care enough to try and save the relationship, plan a surprise visit to come see her. You may both wind up surprised, but hopefully not. Next story 2. My partner is prioritizing his future career over me. So, me and my boyfriend have been together for about 8 months, but he recently gave me a bit of an ultimatum regarding his career plans and I don't know what to do. In a nutshell, he had just moved to my city for university when we met. He had worked in hospitality since high school and decided a degree was a way to make a career change. As someone who works a 9-to-5 job, I was pleased with the prospect that he no longer wanted to do hospitality long term. However, after moving back home for the summer, 5 hours away, for a seasonal hospitality job, he has completely changed his tune. Now he wants to jump straight into hospitality after university, working 50 to 80 hours each week to progress quickly. This concerns me for a number of reasons. He wants to stay working at that establishment long term, which would mean us going long distance permanently. Him working those long hours, even if we live together, means we'd barely see each other as I work 9 to 5, he also said his last relationship suffered because of this. He's a workaholic, and talks about wanting to be at work even when he's off and says he'll sacrifice everything. This interrupts our time together. I'm aware that he changes his mind often, and even if he does this, It won't be for another 2 years. But he's been asking for an ultimatum of sorts from me lately. I went to visit him and he warned me that it wasn't going to be easy with his job in the future and wanted to know if I could move forward with the relationship knowing this. It took me by surprise and really upset me. It's been hard enough being long distance this summer and feels like he didn't take me into consideration at all when making this decision. I don't want to think of a future where I barely see him because his job is demanding. I asked if some compromises could be made, less hours, not moving away, but he wouldn't budge. I also asked if we can discuss this at a later date, but he wants an answer now. He keeps saying you signed up for this, but that couldn't be further from the truth. He said he was done with hospitality and wanted to stay in my city long term when we met. If his plans were the same as they are now, I don't know if we'd have gotten together. I love him so much and don't want to end the relationship prematurely because of something that won't affect us for a couple years. But it just feels like he's planning his whole future without thinking of me, and it's scary. What would you do in this situation? Next story 3. I don't know what to do about my best friend. Me and my best friend have been friends for 8 years now. We have been close the moment we met and never had any big issues, just a small one we both ultimately didn't understand, but that was in the 2nd year of our friendship. Now the issue lies here. I don't know whether this is a combination of things or if she just neglects her friend at this point, but she started talking to this guy she knew from uni, liked him on Tinder, and we're flirting a bit. At this point communication was pretty easy, just slightly less but understandable. She had a new guy. A couple weeks later she lost her younger sister. It was a really rough time for her and I really made her my #1 priority. I called off work and went to her immediately, spent time with her and her family, listened to them all until she wanted to go to sleep since she didn't sleep that night. Her sister was missing the entire night. I think you can imagine what happened. After the funeral we spoke quiet a bit still, went out for drinks and just hung out. But then she and this guy got together and started dating. Since then it has been impossible to get drinks with her. We still texted but she was too busy with him all the time. Then texting got less, we didn't tell each other a lot and just grew apart a lot, and it hurts, since she was there during my weakest moments and I like to think I was for her too. Now I am used to bad texters, I'm okay with it, something you just forget to text back for a couple of days, but this has become excessive. I texted her 3 days ago and got a reply today, very short. In total 3 sentences were said until she didn't reply anymore. At first I thought it was just me, but it isn't. She doesn't talk to my boyfriend anymore, even though they got along great. I don't see her tagged in group outings with her other friends anymore. She doesn't go out to eat, and on Snapchat all I see her do is be at home, or at work. When I do get to talk to her, she always tells me how his friends are coming over or how they have a party with his friends. It feels bad. I talked to my boyfriend a couple of times about it already. His best friend knows this is going on too, and I can feel him getting tired of me talking about it and not doing anything about it. But I just don't know how. I'm not someone who talks about my problems or worries. I tend to sit with them until they explode. It's something I have to work on, but it just feels physically impossible for me to talk to her about this. What would any of you do, and what would be my best course of action?